I promise you that you will see the repercussions of all your decisions. If you continue with this behavior of biting the hand that feeds you, excessive love of money and hypocrisy, then the end is not good for you if you don't repent. Story time. These are the words of Tracy's boss Cynthia, after getting pregnant with her husband, after Tracy took care of her and her widowed mother, paying her rent, weekly grocery shopping and allowance apart from her regular pay. It all started when Cynthia went to the market to buy food items, and was struggling to carry the loads from the market to the car. Then she spotted Tracy, a young adolescent girl in her prime, begging for alms. This caught the attention of Cynthia, when Tracy begged for alms from her, and insisted on helping her carry her loads to her car in exchange for tips, so she can eat and feed her mother at home. Reluctantly, Cynthia allowed her to help her with the load, and she called Tracy inside her car, and asked why she was exposing herself to all danger by begging for alms in the market. Tracy started talking and burst into tears as she began her pathetic story of how her dad died while she was still a baby, and her mother didn't remarry and struggled to sponsor her through primary and secondary school, doing menial jobs. Upon graduation from secondary and passing excellently in her West Africa exam, she wanted to further her education at university, but there was no money to write university qualifying exams, hence she needed to beg for alms and do menial jobs to save some money with the little money her mother can save, so she can future her education. This story touched Cynthia to tears and decided to help her. She told her to come to her house the following day, and she gave Tracy a large amount of money and her address. This decision is the beginning of a crack into her marriage, which is unknown to her. The following day, Tracy came to Cynthia's house, and her husband was at home watching TV. As soon as Tracy entered the house, Cynthia's husband Desmond became lustfully attracted to her. Cynthia introduced Tracy to Desmond as her new help, which will come weekends to help her with domestic chores and school runs for her 2 kids while she is at work, but she will be going home to sleep in her house as she has her mother at home. Desmond was happy as his plans would work, as his wife is a workaholic and comes home late. Cynthia was not aware that though Tracy's story is true, she has an excessive obsession with money and can do anything to get money, not thinking about the consequences. Just a few months after starting to work with Cynthia's family, everything about her story changed. Cynthia spoiled her silly with all the good things of life, bought new clothes for her, wigs, shoes and bags, registered her at the coaching center, and paid for her forthcoming examination, foodstuffs for her mother and money. She took her as her sister and gave her free access to her home. While at home one of those days, Tracy was cooking in the kitchen. Desmond could no longer hold his lust for her. He made advances to her, and she accepted, and they had sex in the kitchen. After the incident, Desmond gave her 100,000 naira cash, and she was surprised as no one ever gave her that kind of money in her life. Cynthia only paid her 45,000 naira. Tracy's attitude towards Cynthia changed slightly as she started sleeping with her husband, but Cynthia didn't notice because she was blinded by true love for Tracy. But her mother noticed her unusual closeness with her boss's husband Desmond and asked her what was going on. She denied having an affair with him. Tracy has a young guy, Jay, who always comes to visit her and buy gifts for her, but she doesn't love him. Hence Tracy will be asking for things that Jay cannot provide, because he is still a student in the university, but Jay believes that he and Tracy can start something great and grow up together. But Tracy's possessive and materialistic behavior keeps pushing him away. One day, Cynthia's friend Lucy saw Desmond and Tracy having a romantic date in a restaurant, and they left for a hotel together. Lucy video evidence and went to Cynthia's office to tell her to watch her home as Desmond and Tracy's relationship. Cynthia doubted it, as she trusted both of them. When Lucy showed her the video she recorded, she planned a way to catch them red-handed. On a fateful day, Cynthia came back from work to pick up a file at the usual time, but she didn't drive in, and the front door was not locked, so she decided not to knock. She passed the back door and went straight to the bedroom. She heard Desmond and Tracy arguing about if to keep her pregnancy or abort, as she too young to start a family, and he doesn't want to scatter his marriage. When Cynthia opened the room door, Tracy was not remorseful at all, and was happy that Cynthia found out that she would be the second wife. Cynthia went to pick up her file and left the house for the office without showing any emotion. On her way to work, she was still shocked and doubted if what she heard was true. Cynthia could not bear the betrayal. She moved to a hotel for 1 week to clear her head and know what next to do. Cynthia went to Tracy's house to ask her why she decided to scatter her marriage despite her kindness. Tracy was not remorseful at all and said Desmond loves her, and she loves him too. Cynthia got so angry and said, "I promise you that you will see the repercussions of all your decisions. If you continue with this behavior of biting the hand that feeds you, excessive love of money and hypocrisy, then the end is not good for you if you don't repent." Tracy's mother was so sad and begging Cynthia because she had been good to them. Desmond started begging her that it was the work of the devil, and he didn't know what came over him, that she seduced him. Cynthia forgives him after begging her for months, and the sake of their children. Tracy is not ready to give birth to any child, as she wants to go to school, and Desmond is not picking up her calls again after he sends her money to evacuate the pregnancy. Not long after that incident, she gained admission into the university. She couldn't afford to pay for the hostel. She begged her friend Becky, who was already living in the hostel, to squat with her till she could afford to pay for her accommodation. Soon she started demanding huge money from her poor mother at home, but her mother could not afford it. She started dating a guy online, whose name was Tund. Just a few weeks into dating Tund, Tracy started dating him. She started asking him for material things and huge money, which Tund always provided double what she asked for. After 6 months of dating Tund, he requested she come to visit him and not tell anyone about her movements, which she did. On Friday evening after lectures, Tracy left the school hostel to go visit his online boyfriend Tund. Becky asked her where she was going. She didn't mention it, but before she left, she dropped her phone to use the toilet. Becky quickly turned on the live location on Tracy's phone, as she had warned her about Tund, who spends lavishly on her, but she wouldn't listen. Tracy picked up her phone and small traveling bag and left the school hostel to see his mysterious boyfriend in Delta State. Upon getting to Kaduna, it was late in the night, and the Google map led Tracy to the burial ground, where she was calling Tund repeatedly, which kept on ringing, and no one was picking it up. As she turned to leave the burial ground, someone touched her from behind, and it was Tund, dressed in a white gown and looking mysterious. Instantly she died on the spot. The following day, her corpse was found in Delta State's main market with some of her body parts missing. After 2 weeks of Tracy not returning to school, all ways to get in touch with her proved abortive. Becky went to the police station to report Tracy missing and share Tracy's live location on her phone and Tund's contact, which she had been talking to for months. The cybercrime team begin an investigation and finds out that Tund is a serial killer and ritualist who the government have been searching for over a decade, who lures his victim through relationships, gifts, and social media. Tracy's remains were removed from the street and taken to Lagos State, where the mother buried her and warned everyone who cared to listen not to be too obsessed with the love of money. Not long after Tracy's death, her mother died too out of a heart attack. Always watch how you behave, as your behavior can affect people around you negatively. What do you think of this story in the comment section?